So welcome everyone. This is our second Blue Book stroke Relais Chateau. This one is all Blue Book Properties webinar. And we've got a few newbies here. We have the Wilder, which is an amazing property in Dublin. So it's sort of for those people who don't want to stay in a big 5-star property, but want a 5-star experience. So we love it. And then we've got Castle Leslie, which is at Equestrian Haven. And as we said in the newsletter, it's family owned for a very long time, Emer, isn't it?
Correct. 1660s.
1660s.
Yeah.
And then we've got the Park, which is under new ownership. That's another lovely property down in Kenmare. And then we've Gregan's Castle, and Gregan's Castle is a wonderful property in the Burren, south of Galway, and not far from Cliffs of Moher as well. So an amazing place to stop. Especially if people sort of are doing that shorter 7-day and they don't want to go up to Galway, they sort of don't want to do, you know, Dublin, Kerry, Galway and out, and they can do the Burren, Clare, Shannon, everything like that from there. So we're going to start off with and we also have Michelle from Ireland's Blue Book. How could I ever forget Michelle?
People do sometimes, Siobhan. Thank you, Siobhan.
As you know, the Blue Book is an amazing collection of properties. All of them are owner managed as such. Independent properties. So it's definitely something to consider when you're looking at an itinerary in Ireland, because if you do an itinerary without including at least 1 or 2 Blue Book properties, you're making a mistake. So we're going to go off to the Wilder, and that's in a beautiful part of Dublin. And we're going to talk to Ray and to Lucas, the GM.
Well, thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. Greetings from a really warm and sunny capital. We are indeed in a fantastic and beautiful property, opened 5 years ago. The building itself, I think the story starts at the end of 19th century, where the original and the oldest part was built, 1878. That's also the date when we found the first written documents about the property. And then it was extended in the early 30s. And works as a really nice and charming little boutique hotel in Dublin city centre, with I think fantastic location between the canal and main city attractions. Obviously Trinity College, Stephen's Green, National Concert Hall, which we work sharing our art experiences, because art and promoting art is something that we love doing here in the property. We're also close to main galleries, National Gallery, Hugh Lane Gallery, where we send our guests or, again, work with them promoting their main exhibitions. In terms of the building and the current services, we've got 42 rooms, various sizes, different categories, starting from the smaller or popular ones, ranging in 18 to 20 square meters, up to the suites. The biggest one would be nearly 80 square meter.
Lucas, will I share the little video so guys can get a sense of place of the location? So just let me have it here ready. We're back to here, share screen.
There we go. That is the front of the building. Thank you so much for sharing the video. That shows the location, obviously, and certain features of the rooms. Of course, the building have been rearranged and refurbished and equipped with the modern devices, there are still a lot of protected items. Obviously, the fireplaces, the wooden cupboards are nearly 150 years old. In terms of the services and in terms of the guest care, our staff, I think, loves spoiling the guests. So all the guests are welcome at the check-in to our gin bar for the complimentary gin and tonic. They're also walked into the rooms because that gives our duty managers, opportunity to share a bit of a history of the building and explain the services that the guest can expect during their stay.
So, Lucas, I think Siobhan's trying to get in there.
No, I was, and then I realized I was muted. No, the one thing I love about the property in particular is that I mean quirky in the nicest sense, but all your rooms are different. And, you know, they all have a character and style that's totally like, you know, when you're staying in a sort of a corporate hotel, and even if it's an amazing chain luxury, you don't get that individual charm of, you know, a townhouse property, but also the rooms are so different. They're amazing. Yes, and also I mentioned at the beginning, we are very art-oriented here, and our guests during the stay can witness certain exhibitions, from the sculptures, from the painting, lino prints, that we would change quite often every month or two. There is a new addition to our little world of art, and our guests would also be provided with a bit of an information in room. So they would either get a booklet explaining why we do it, who is representing current works, as we want to promote local artists from the city and from around or outside Dublin. Coming back to the services, so apart from a really warm and friendly check-in and invitation to the bar, probably our main food and beverage service would be a breakfast, over 14 main course, a la carte served to the table every morning with quite obviously friendly staff that care about the guest. The beauty of the property is that most of the overseas guests start the journey in Ireland with the Wilder. They tour the island and then they come back. And my staff are so happy to recognize them. And that's where we increase that link and that friendship with the guests. And I think they really have a fantastic memory after staying in the property. And it's so central, like it's in a beautiful area. It's very quiet, but yet it's so central. We recommend certain places to go, either for walk or obviously guests looking for local attractions. Very safe area with a few local elegant, not overcrowded pubs on the Baggot Street Lower, but also quite sophisticated, good dining experience only 4 minutes away, available at the Susie Street restaurant that we partner with, and that's where we recommend evening meals to our guests. Fantastic. And I'm going to be very bold and suggest, I know you have another property down in Cork. So Ray, do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Well, I don't want to take away from the Blue Book conversation, but I suppose we're very proud of the property at the Wilder, and thanks Siobhan for this opportunity for myself and Lucas to be on. But no, we obviously have a sister property being the Montanati. We're not Blue Book, but we're both members of Small Luxury Hotels of the World. So the Montanati has, I suppose, had a phenomenal past, you know what I mean, over 76 years as a hotel, but it's only in the last number of 5 or 6 years since our owners took over the property. It's the same owners as the Wilder, Frankie and Josephine Whelan, and they just have a loving for attention to detail, luxury offerings, but also service delivery. So we've been developing the product at the Montanati over the last number of years, and we have great news that we're, just for your guests, that we're launching our Woodland Suite experience tomorrow. We open officially. We had our official launch last night, and we'll be adding 9 new luxury suites to the resort. They're in the gardens, below the gardens, and in the woodland. They range from 37 square meters to 51 square meters of interiors, with 11 square meter terraces. But it's a 5-star offering on property. Everything from your electric golf buggy arrival right down to the resort. You're met. Beautiful clubhouse dedicated to these guests. At max capacity, Siobhan, we'll have 18 guests in this area, but it is a 5-star offering. We're very excited about what
I showed the quick video there.
If you could,
Ray,
Giovanna, I'd really appreciate that. just a very quick 1-minute video just on the experience. We've only developed that in the last 2 weeks. I won't take away from any more of this conversation. The video will sell itself.
Ray, can you just give an idea of where you are with regard to Cork City so people have a sense of place?
Yeah, I just seen that chat coming up there, Siobhan. So we're literally a 10-minute walk into Cork City from the very front door of the hotel. We class ourselves as an urban resort. We're on a 6-acre site, but just literally McCurtain Street is probably one of the busiest streets in Cork now from a food and beverage offering, and it's an incredible location. So 10 minutes walk into the city centre. And what we recommend, Siobhan, guests, is a cab back up, because we're very much elevated overlooking the city. So it's a cab back
Easy
up.
walking down, but it's hard climbing up.
Exactly. So take the effort to walk in and a cab back up.
And just, I know Richard and Rachel in our office are huge big fans of the Montanati when they go to Cork. And just regarding, actually, rather than just go back to Lucas, you might as well say, I was describing the Wilders being just off Leeson Street. Would you have anything?
Spot on. Yeah, no, spot on. I think it's kind of in that just leafy suburb just off Leeson Street, close to the Royal Canal in essence. So as some people said, they walk past it, and they do tend to just walk past it and not realize it's there, Siobhan.
Oh yeah,
so
it's hidden away.
Yeah, it's in a hidden, it's kind of like a leafy, but again, 3 minutes and you're into Stephen's Green.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant. Thank you very much. And by the way, I was just thinking myself, the next time I'm walking home from work, I must pop by for a gin and tonic.
Very welcome, Siobhan.
Thank you. So Gio, we're going over now to the park, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got Margaret on.
Hi everyone, and are you going to present our presentation, or are we presenting our presentation?
Do you want to do it for your end, Margaret?
Yes, we
I've
can.
made you a co-host
How
there.
are you?
Yeah, hello. I've made you a co-host there. You'd be able to
We'll say
share.
hello first before we
Yes.
start sharing on ParaShare. Unfortunately, we're in the midst of great new enhancements in the hotel, so we're a little bit early to do a video, but we'll do one fairly shortly. So we'll be presenting by PowerPoint, and delighted that Brian Meehan, our new owner, is with us. So it's not a new owner anymore. He's been here since mid-November. And just loads of new stories, great enhancements, everything to the hotel, which we'll share with you over the next few minutes. Brian, you might like to say a few words?
Yeah, I just thanks for the opportunity to get on. I think everybody knows the Park Hotel in Kenmare. It's been around since 1875. I think what I have done so far, and what I tend to do, is just sort of make the park relevant to where we are today. And so my background is in, I came from Blue Bottle Coffee. I was the owner and CEO and chairman of Blue Bottle Coffee. And so if people know what I've done with Blue Bottle Coffee, you'll get a feel for what I'm going to be doing at the park. We've already put Blue Bottle Coffee in the Park Hotel, and it is the only place in Europe where you can get Blue Bottle. And then there was a lot of period gold framed pictures of landlords and landladies, which I just don't think are relevant anymore today. And so myself and my wife Tara are personal art collectors. I'm on the board of the De Young Museum in San Francisco, and we've put our personal collection of art into the hotel, which is not only amazing for the guests, but it's fantastic for the town of Kenmare. They call it the Tate Kenmare now, which is quite funny. And it's just added to the vibe, because the great thing about the Park Hotel is that it is in the center of Kenmare, as you'll see in a second, but it's actually feels like it's in the middle of nowhere on Kenmare Bay. So you have that great privacy and seclusion, but you're 1 minute or 5 minutes away from walking into the town and getting, you know, real amazing art hospitality on your doorstep. So yeah, we'll start quickly with the presentation.
I'll share the PowerPoint now.
So that's the park situated on Kenmare River. So
Oh,
you don't
we
even
can't
see,
see it yet.
oh, you can't see it, okay.
Is
You
it
need to
start?
go to share screen and then
Okay.
choose.
Oh, you have to click out of the presentation, I think.
Yeah, go back to the Zoom. There's a share screen.
Go back to the Zoom.
So a lot of people are saying, is it the original Park Hotel Kenmare? Yes, it is. So it was sold by the Brennans to Brian. He stepped up, and as he mentioned, there is investing a lot of money in it. So it's great to have two fantastic
Tell us
properties.
again what we have to do to share this.
If you go to share screen,
Oh.
I've made you a co-host. You should be able to, beside the chat.
Yeah, you just share. Do you know how to share a screen on Zoom?
I should, but it's not coming up.
Where is it on Zoom? Did anyone?
Beside there's participants, chat, and share.
It's normally in green. If you see it in green, it could be in the bottom or the top.
Yeah, no, it's not in the, it's not in.
Okay,
in
if you
Zoom
give
or
me a
on your
second.
Did you show it on,
Yeah, I can do.
yeah, I can share it onto Zoom, but it's.
But you have to do it from Zoom.
No, it's not allowing me to.
We should start in Zoom, right?
Do you have a copy of it, Gio, that you can
I
share?
do.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have a copy.
I'm
Yeah,
getting it
Gio,
up here.
That's
Yeah.
better.
I would say Siobhan is right about, or we talked there about the park. It is in the heart of this gorgeous village, isn't it, Siobhan? You've been down there many
Amazing.
times.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, there
Step
it is,
out.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
said,
actually love the Tom Crean distillery beside it. I know it's very unknown and very small, but I think the story of Tom Crean is amazing.
yeah, it is actually, and a lot of our beers come from Tom Crean. We're kind of unusual in that, as you see, we're looking over Kenmare Bay there, and we're one of the few country houses that really is in the heart of a town. I think you have to go to the Royal Crescent in Bath to get something similar. So even though you have all this beauty around you, 2 minutes away, you're from the heart of the town of Kenmare. Again, not only are we so adjacent and close to a gorgeous heritage town, we're right, as they call us, the Little Nest Nadine, beside the Ring of Beara and the Ring of Kerry. So you go out of our gate, you take a left, and you're on the Ring of Kerry, you take a right on the Ring of Beara, and they're two of the most dramatic coastal driving routes on the Wild Atlantic Way. Brian has done huge amount of enhancements in the hotel, and he spoke earlier about his personal art collection, which are adorning the walls everywhere. You can see a beautiful Andy Warhol of Jackie O just over the fireplace there in the previous slide, and we do daily art tours of the hotel for residents and non-residents if they wish to join us. This is one of our living rooms, and for residents we serve afternoon tea and cake there. Beautiful terraces looking over the gardens and the grounds, and just sit there and really do nothing. We have 4 categories of hotel rooms, and the beauty of the park is they're all heritage rooms. No 2 rooms are the same, all large, oversized, many with water views, some with garden views, antique furniture decorating many of them. And also we're in the midst this winter of quite a large refurbishment program. Some prototype rooms have already been done, and there's quite an amount of work been done on interiors, subtle. The bedrooms will keep with the period of the time. Bathrooms been enhanced. But I suppose one of the wonderful news stories, and it's getting rave reviews from everyone that has come in, is the art in the park. Not only Irish artists, Irish and international artists such as Hester Gates, Gucci, and of course here we go into Landline, our restaurant, into the Sean Scully room, where we have 6 amazing Sean Scullys hanging, the largest collection of Sean Scullys outside of the Hugh Lane Gallery in Dublin. This particular one that you see here is Landline, and it tells the story of where the land meets the sea. And it's so absolutely perfect for the restaurant, because of course all of our produce is sourced from as close as we possibly can get it from around the hotel, from the land and the sea. And not only does it tell, I suppose, the story of dining in the hotel, but it also beautifully tells the story of our food provenance. Sustainability is a big part of our story as well. So you just saw a few wines there a little earlier. So even though we have a classic wine list, over 4,000 wines in the cellar, our non-intervention wines are coming in, mainly from France at the moment, but that list will be expanded fairly shortly as we move into the summer and into next year. Brian spoke about Blue Bottle coffee, and for those of you who've been to the West Coast, in particular, you'll know all about Blue Bottle coffee, and we're amazed. We've great American business in this year, but amazed as soon as people walk in the door, the first thing to say, "My God, how did you get Blue Bottle coffee here?" So it's served throughout the hotel, obviously in restaurant, bars, dining area. We've perfected an amazing Blue Bottle coffee cocktail list, which is just from the Blue Bottle Negronis, of course, to our own classic Irish coffees. And likewise, in all of our bedrooms, Blue Bottle coffee is the house amenity. So as I said, we have the bedrooms, we have beautiful dining, magnificent views, a few minutes walk into the heritage town of Kenmare, where you have traditional pubs, gorgeous shops, art galleries. But then you come back in-house and we have a wealth of activities for guests to enjoy. 25-meter lap pools, an amazing deluxe destination spa. We've daily activities for staff ranging from beautiful botanical walks through the gardens, yoga, meditation, breathing exercises, just the ultimate place to kind of get away, and combine that with magnificent hikes, walks along the Kerry Way, even climbing the highest mountain in Carranthul, where we provide you with guides. It is just a haven for those who want to relax within the gorgeous area of the hotel itself and in our gardens, or those that want to explore Kerry and the Beara Peninsula and Cork that little bit further. You see our 25-meter lap pool there, the spa. And I suppose another enhancement Brian has bought, and I don't think it's one of the few hotels in the world where we have access to an amazing rainforest about 30 minutes away. Guests can travel down from the hotel, we provide transportation for them to enjoy a day in a rainforest with a picnic. But perhaps, Brian, you might like to tell us more about Drumgareth.
So yeah, Drumgareth is actually classified as an ancient Irish oakwood rainforest. It's 100, maybe just go back one slide.
Oh, sorry, I just wanted to see your face. Right.
Oh yeah, fine. Okay, you can stay. You can stay on it.
Stay on it, yeah.
It's an ancient Irish oakwood rainforest. It's on 100 acres. It was the original site of another great southern hotel called Roach's Hotel, which was burnt down in 1910. But the land is looking out on Glengarriff Bay, and we've decided to we bought this property before we bought the park. We want to link the two. It has 5 really amazing houses. The last slide that you saw just as we turned off was a view from one of the homes. We've got 2 houses that have, one house has 10 bedrooms, another house has 11 bedrooms.
Can you just explain, is it a rental property then? I didn't know.
It's 5 rental properties in itself. But also for guests who come to the park are recording in progress. So for people who are coming to the park, we'll organize picnics to go for a day over the Cahir Pass. It takes 30 minutes to get to the rainforest, and you can take a tour around the rainforest. There's a waterfall. You can go swimming in the bay, kayaking and stuff like that. So I find it's one of those places, the minute you stand there, you just feel so grounded. You switch off your mobile phone. It's a great place to just get very close to nature.
It's a wonderful add-on to the park.
Yeah.
And then can I just add before we finish, Samos, is it still there, the spa?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Samos is there. It's actually 2 spas, a male spa and a female spa. And all the pools, everything are there. And again, in the plans for a year down the road, right, with great plans to do an enhancement of that spa, because its location you can't beat, you know, particularly literally nestled in the woods. So watch this space. There'll be more news coming on spa developments in the next year or so as well.
One last thing I didn't mention is my background is in sustainability. I owned an organic food store company that was sold to Whole Foods before I did Blue Bottle. And so everything I approach around food and the operations of the hotel my aim is to make it the most sustainable hotel in Ireland, if not in the world. And that's partly why we're bringing the rainforest connecting to the hotel. But if you have clients who are interested in sustainability, they'll be very much appreciating a lot of the work that we're doing behind the scenes and in front of the scenes at the
Brilliant.
Park Hotel.
Well, we've actually got a sustainability I've got a son who studied permaculture in Australia in the Permaculture Research Institute. So we actually work a lot with sustainable like for people wanting to experience sustainability and sort of conscientious traveling as well.
Yes.
Yes,
A lot of
yes.
people, sustainability turns them off because I think it's sort of like an eco-wire thing.
Yeah.
The conscientious traveling in Ireland. So yeah, we must do something together. And is that rainforest an ancient forest? Because there are some ancient
It's an
forests.
ancient Irish
Oak forest.
Perfect, yeah.
oakwood rainforest, yes.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't know about the trees like the rowan and everything in Ireland, how they are different and very significant to Ireland, etc. So brilliant. So we have to watch that space. And there is a theme now coming in here as well with Montanati. I can see an itinerary developing in people's minds. So thanks a million, Brian.
Thank you for allowing us on. That was so nice.
More than
Thank you both. Thank you, Siobhan, and thank you so much, Michelle, as well for facilitating this.
And now we're going to pass over to, now how do I pronounce it? Is it Aina?
It is Aina, Siobhan.
No, I'm always worried sometimes how I pronounce it.
Everybody always worries. Don't worry. It's an easy once you get to know it.
So
So
tell
yeah,
us about Gregan's. And again, there's another
Oops.
sustainability and responsible travel element to do with Gregan's.
Absolutely. So we're a luxury eco and gourmet retreat nestled in the heart of the Burren on Ireland's west coast, and we're right in the heart of the wild Atlantic Wales. So we're located in North Clare, so overlooking the beautiful Galway Bay, and we're about 20 minutes from the Cliffs of Moher, which is Ireland's amazing cliffs overlooking the Aran Islands. That's right close to Doolin as well, which is the heart of Irish music in Ireland, and we're about an hour from Shannon Airport. I believe, Gio, you have a video to play, and then I can talk a little bit more after.
And again,
I
Gregan's
do.
is another favorite with the Adams and Butler clients as well.
Let me just get it on. Just give me 1 second. Sorry, if you just give me one more second.
I was wondering whether you were drinking, Gio, because you turn the recording off, you turn the recording on, and then you go on to Emer, not on to Aina.
No,
Be careful, Siobhan, or you could be muted
Yeah.
because Gio does have the power.
He does have the power.
Gregan's actually has fantastic sustainability credentials as well, I have to say. So that park up to Gregan's, that's certainly an option for someone or for clients who are, as Brian said, are very concerned about their journey being sustainable through Ireland. Yeah. And one thing I'd recommend, Dana, that I did when I stayed in the Gregan's Castle was I went up on the Burren region, which is a very unusual region of Ireland, in the west of Ireland, with a local farmer. And he gave me a talk about the whole social history
Yes, I was
of the
going to talk about
area.
Shane.
And I thought that was a really good experience for clients. And I know Siobhan's company arranges all those things. The Blue Book doesn't do any of that work. But that was a wonderful experience when I stayed in Gregan's.
Yeah, Shane is a sheep farmer. He's several generations on the Burren, literally our next door neighbor, and he does 3-hour walks up the hills of Capnawalla Mountain and the local hills around Gregan's, and it's a phenomenal 3 hours where he talks about the history, the flora, the fauna, the ecotourism of the Burren, and then the botany and the archaeology as well. And if you get to the top, he gives you a little bit of Jameson as well, which is always appreciated.
I did have the Jameson. I have to admit, I
Well
did
done,
have a
Michelle.
whiskey. Yeah, but it was a wonderful experience. And I suppose that's when you work with someone like Siobhan's team, that your clients, the clients that are coming from the US, get those unique experiences.
Indeed, and those are the little things that are close by us that we can arrange for you with local farmers. You have Connell Stone Fort, which is 4th generational Irish sheep and cow farm down the road. They produce all the milk for Isle of Wheat cheese, which we use in some of our dishes, which is again is 3.5 kilometers away. Carriconnell also has a fantastic sheepdog trials, so you can go and meet the dogs. They do a 45-minute demonstration of how of the working farm and how the sheepdogs work, which a lot of our guests and Adams Butler's guests absolutely adore when they go down there as well. So there's lots of things close by that are really fantastic. And from the eco point of view as well, we have our own organic vegetable municipal garden, which is 20 meters outside the back door of the hotel, which essentially is farm to fork on our grounds, which is phenomenal as well. Our guests love.
Can I stop you there for a second? Because if Gio doesn't show the video, I
I
think
have it.
It's
ready to go.
when people see the video, then what you're saying makes more sense afterwards, sort of.
Absolutely, I was just waiting for Gio there.
Yeah.
So my name is Simon Hayden and I'm the owner of Gregan's Castle Hotel, which is in Ballyvaughan in the north of the Burren. You know, the Burren being such a unique landscape, very, very unusual, nowhere else really like it in the world, and we're also a halfway point on the Wild Atlantic Way. Our bar is called the Corkscrew Bar. It's named after the hill behind the hotel. A very cosy, comfortable bar. The fire is always burning from morning to night. Brian is our barman, so he makes great cocktails. We have local beers on tap as well from the Western Herd Brewery. It has nice little views as well, you know, and we serve afternoon tea in there too and lunch. Robbie McCauley is our chef. Robbie's been head chef now here for 4 years. Very modern style of cooking, you know, but obviously using absolutely the best of local ingredients. It is very much a fine dining experience, to relaxed atmosphere, and that's very much what we like to do. I mean, the Burren obviously is an area where you can do a lot or do nothing. It's very much an area for both, and that's what we like to give our guests as well. Somewhere, if they're out all day doing lots of activities, that they've got somewhere nice and relaxed to come back to at the end of the day.
So, Aina, you're very well situated between Galway and like Clare, aren't you? Basically, you're
Yes,
perfect for touring in that area.
Yeah, we're literally an hour from Galway, and we're in North Clare, but we're in the heart of the Burren. We're the only luxury hotel that is uniquely central in location to enjoy the whole of the Burren from. It's a phenomenal stop for guests on their way either up north to Galway, Mayo, or down south to Kenmare, etc., down to Kerry. So it's a beautiful part of the world. The hotel itself was built in 1750. It's the 18th century house, has been in the family since 1976. Peter and Maura Hayden had it before their son Simon and his wife Freddie took over. We have a huge art collection in the house as well. It seems to be a theme today. And Freddie and Simon go abroad maybe 2 or 3 times a year, and they really source fantastic art. Freddie's always on looking for antiques. All our antiques in the hotel there's not a single reproduction. They're all original. And our guests just absolutely love the decor of the hotel. There's not a single television in the hotel, so it's a complete switch off, because our guests go out and enjoy the Burren during the day, and they come back and just want to completely relax. And we want to concentrate about what's in and around us as opposed to the outside world, which we can all get sort of on televisions around the world. There's also, we've gorgeous fires, as you saw, lighting every day, even during the summer, just for the atmosphere. It's absolutely beautiful. We've had J.R. Tolkien stay back in the 1940s, early 50s, when he was writing Lord of the Rings. So a lot of our guests love that part about it as well. And as I said, we're very close to the Cliffs of Moher, just 20 minutes. There's great walking, cycling. You have the Aran Islands, just 25 minutes boat ride away from Doolin. A lot of our guests would eat in our beautiful fine dining restaurant. We just have a new chef this year, Jonathan Farrell, who has done a phenomenal job. He has won some great awards already, and he's all the food critics two of the food critics of Ireland have been in this year already and wrote fantastic things about him. So we've changed the menu slightly to be more of a tasting menu with choices now, as opposed to a sole tasting menu as it was before. So our guests are able to eat 2 and 3 nights with those choices if they want to stay completely in the heart of Gregan's Castle, or we've gorgeous local pubs and restaurants around which we send people to as well. So you have the best of both worlds. You can go casual and formal if you wish as well. We've been with the Blue Book since about the early 80s, so one of the earlier members, and we're also part of Small Luxury Hotels as well. So we're very proud of those two as well with us.
Fantastic. And then just one other thing as well to bear in mind for people is the Burren Perfumery. Like there's lots, as well as fantastic guides, because we have a young storyteller that I actually like. He dresses up and, you know, he's amusing, and he knows his fables and his tales of yore. But at the Burren Perfumery you've got there, the Burren Smokehouse, there's so many things really to do in that area. And then sure, you could use it as a base to go to the Aran Islands, which we send people off to on many occasions, you know, which is great.
Absolutely. A lot of our guests like I'd say about 45-50% of our guests incorporate the Aran Islands on a 2-day stay. It's just 20 minutes down to Doolin, and again 25 minutes across. We actually have great community with the Doolin Ferry, and we can book that directly for you as well. As you said, the Burn Perfumery is close by. We also have then the surfing, sea kayaking, sea angling, and you've golf for those golf tours as well. You have the amazing Lahinch Golf Course just 28 minutes, 30 minutes away as well, which is one of the most beautiful courses in the world. So there's literally everything you could want within about half an hour of us.
Fantastic. So thank you very much, Aina. So anything like that you need can be booked by Adams and Butler as well, all over that area. Someone asked there, Teresa asked about the itinerary in combining all these properties. It'd be a perfect combination. And then she talked about going north as well. And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go over to Emer in Castle Leslie, which is a very unusual and sort of, again, eccentric property, but has amazing feel about it. And you're isolated again in that wonderful, sustainable sort of vibe as well, in the middle of the countryside, and yet accessible both to Northern Ireland, to Dublin, to the west, etc.
Exactly. Thanks, Siobhan. And just to say thanks very much for inviting me here today. Delighted to showcase Castle Leslie Estate to you all, and hello everyone that's here in attendance. So just to reiterate, my name is Emer Winters and I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing for Castle Leslie Estate. And Castle Leslie Estate is one of the last great Irish castle estates. And the wonderful thing about it is that it's still in the hands of its founding family, the Leslies, since the 1660s, which is very, very unique. We're located in County Monaghan, so we're only an 80-minute drive north from Dublin Airport and a 60-minute drive south from Belfast Airport, so ideal from both locations. And we're situated on 1,000 acres. It's a very large estate of beautiful Irish countryside. We're surrounded by ancient woodlands. There's 3 beautiful lakes on our estate. So really, the Castle Leslie Estate, it's a very unique and enchanting destination, combining or blending history, luxury, and of course, natural beauty. And we have 3 accommodation offerings at Castle Leslie. Obviously, at the heart of the estate is the castle, which you can see here in the background. Then we have a beautiful country house style boutique hotel called the Lodge. And then we have private luxury home rental in the form of 12 2-bed mews. And obviously at the heart of the estate is the beautiful castle, and the main attraction, of course, with us. It's really steeped in history and full of character and charm. It has 21 bedrooms, no 2 rooms the same, all completely different and have their own unique style and individuality. And as you can imagine, over the years, we have numerous high profile guests that have stayed with us. A lot of people recognize Castle Leslie Estate as it's where Sir Paul McCartney from the Beatles got married to Heather Mills. We won't go into that. We won't go into that marriage. So really, even though you're surrounded by all this old world grandeur, there's original artifacts dotted throughout the castle. For example, we have Winston Churchill's christening gown in a glass casket in the drawing room, as the Leslies were related to the Churchills. And of course, family heirlooms. There's no air of stuffiness about the castle at all. We want it to be a home away from home for people, and we love when guests give us that feedback also. And much as Gregan's Castle, we don't have TVs or radios in the bedrooms. We've purposefully done that.
I think that's great. I think that's
it
wonderful.
is, and people love it because, and as I say, if you really want a television, then maybe stay down at the Lodge, because you're really getting an authentic and original experience when you're staying at the castle. And just to mention, actually, obviously, as well as leisure guests that we have staying there, it can be hired out privately for a group. So Siobhan's your woman for that. And so, for example, for a multi-generational family or for a group, so you can really feel like you're in the Downton Abbey era. So maybe we'd like to play the video here, and then I can elaborate more after that.
Amazing, Emer. Hmm.
Yeah, so just it didn't show in the video there, just to mention the two other properties briefly on the estate. So the lodge, as I mentioned, now this is a beautiful, it used to be an old hunting lodge that our current custodian, Sammy Leslie, restored. And I describe it really as the social hub of the estate. So it's where guests and locals alike will convene. It's a beautiful property with 50 bedrooms, and it houses our bar, our restaurant, our spa, and it's adjacent to our equestrian centre. So as Siobhan, as you mentioned at the beginning of presentation, Castle Leslie really is synonymous with equestrianism. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have any guests that want to come to Ireland horse riding, you would have to send them to Castle Leslie Estate. We are one of the leading equestrian destinations in Ireland. So we cater for beginners right through to intermediates to advanced riders, and being on 1,000 acres, and we've lots of land. We've over 300 cross-country jumps. So we cater for people doing dressage, show jumping, we do private lessons. And I always recommend to guests, even if you've never been on a horse before, you have to go horse riding when you come to Castle Leslie Estate. It's a beautiful activity to do. It's one of the best ways to actually see the estate. And if you really don't want to go on a horse, you can go on a horse tour and carriage ride as well. That's much easier. And it's a lovely romantic way as well to see the picturesque landscape. And then finally, we have our Old Stable Mews. So as I said, that's private luxury home rental. Again, ideal for families. There are 12 two-bed Mews accommodation, duplex style accommodation, ideal for families, 2 adults, 2 children, for example. And they're situated in a beautiful, picturesque corner of the estate. It's an old courtyard, which we restored. It's only about a 15-minute walk to the castle. And then just to mention about dining, well, there's lots of options for guests. So people can enjoy obviously casual dining or formal dining in our estate restaurant Snaffles. As I mentioned, afternoon tea is very popular both in the castle and in the lodge. And then in terms of activities, as I always say, a stay at Castle Leslie Estate can be as action-packed or as relaxed as guests want it to be. It's an ideal place to do a digital detox and be at one with nature. But other activities that we do outside of horse riding, we offer falconry, which is extremely popular. Fishing, boating, clay target shooting, archery, and there's numerous walking trails as well. And obviously we have our spa. So we've won over 50 awards. So I think to summarize, I suppose if guests are looking for exquisite accommodation, award-winning service and dining, and a host of activities, then put Castle Leslie Estate next on your bucket list.
I know, Emer, that one of the first bookings we ever had for Castle Leslie was either, I think it was like a month stay, and it was one of the daughters of a prime minister from the Arab world, and she's now a famous horse rider. Because a lot of people mentioned her, and I was saying, no, she stayed for a month.
Yeah.
And she's very young.
Sure. And we get a lot of, like, obviously, I mean, we say our horses aren't for sale, but we have had numerous guests that have stayed with us, especially from the UAE, that have actually bought our horses over the years. So they just fall in love with them. So Sammy has to go hunting then again, pardon the pun, for more horses.
But this lady actually trained with yourselves, which was
amazing. Yeah. I'm sure she knows Sammy well.
Probably does.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. But again, as I said, with horse riding, it's not just for experienced riders. So if, for example, if you have a family staying, I mean, everybody can enjoy horse riding. We've ponies on the estate as well. So it's, as I mentioned, it's a lovely activity to do. And then in the area, I mean, as I say, once you come in, you don't have to leave because there's lots to do. So it can be as action-packed or as relaxed as you want it to be. But we're actually, as I mentioned, we're only 80 minutes from Dublin Airport. So obviously you're driving along the motorway, you're on national roads, and then you literally drive through woodlands and you arrive at this gorgeous picturesque village, which is called Glasslock, which actually translates to Green Lake. We have Glasslock Lake on the estate, which the castle overlooks. but it's a very picturesque and quaint village. With being Irish, there's, you know, 2 pubs in it, of course, and then just touching on artistry there as well. We've 2 local artists that live in the village as well. We have an antique shop. We have Trish Murphy, who is our local chocolatier. So she owns Glasslock Chocolates, and they're actually one of the amenities that we put into the rooms, as well as our own gin, which is called the Fighting Bishop Gin.
Wow, I like the sound of that one.
First, Leslie. So it's all about gin and art on this webinar.
Yeah. And the other thing though as well is a lot of our American clients, they love doing dressage. It seems to be a big thing in the States, more so than other countries. It's one request we get. Do you do dressage?
We do dressage, yeah, we do. So that's obviously in our indoor arena. So it's actually a 200-seater indoor arena. So our instructors obviously do lessons in dressage as well, or people that are experienced can do dressage in the indoor arena. But a lot of our North American clients there, they absolutely love the cross country. So an awful lot of them would be experienced riders as well that would stay with us. And really, like an average stay at Castle Leslie Estate, as you know, Siobhan, would be around three nights. But touching on the equestrian vacations, people tend to come for 5 nights, and they all want to stay in the lodge, because when you wake up in the morning, you look out of your window, you overlook the stable, so you see the horses there, which is quite a unique aspect for people.
And then if anyone wants an equestrian themed itinerary, Crinkle up in on the
Crinkle Equestrian, yes,
lovely
that's right.
combination with yourselves. There'd be a lovely combination with yourselves, because they could do the coast and you could do the the inland, the country, cross country.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So that's a nice combination for people. Yeah.
So thanks a million, Emer. Michelle, do you want to add anything?
I think you really covered everything. I mean, a few people were asking questions. Yes, you could do an itinerary all around the island of Ireland, staying in Blue Book properties. I don't do any of that work. Siobhan's team would do all of that with you. So I think, you could combine, I don't know, Siobhan, do you think combining maybe a 5-star city centre property of the Blue Book and then a little unknown gem? So that makes a nice itinerary. Would that be what you would recommend?
When we're looking at the properties that were there, they would all complement each other in a sense that they're very different, but they're not on top of each other. So and the thing that people don't realize, and I've said it a few times before, is that when you're traveling in Ireland, every 30 minutes you have a different accent and different topography. So it's not like you're going to a place and you can travel for 100 miles and it's the same. Like, we're not Texas.
Yeah.
So the thing is,
but it's about knowing your client and what they want. For example, the Park Hotel in Kenmare, what I think is lovely is you look at it and you see the gorgeous scenery, but you walk out the front door and you're in such a cute little village. And for some people, that's what they want. But we've other Blue Book properties where they're out in the middle of nowhere, and that's what that client wants. And that is where, obviously, the people on this call, it's their job to match the client to the property, working with your team.
But it's also like, I remember one time I was doing this thing, this training for a travel advisor, and they were saying, sometimes when you have a couple or you have 2 couples traveling together, they all don't necessarily want the same thing. So if you have a combination of different types of properties, you're keeping everyone happy at some stage. So unless a couple is exactly the same, it's nice to have a mix and match of different styles as well.
And for family, someone was asking a question about, like, Castle Leslie would be a perfect family destination. You have the spa, you could keep smaller children busy. There's so much to do in the estate. I was up there on Tuesday myself. Fantastic walks. So it's about knowing your client and matching the property to what they need so that they are happy on holiday. We didn't touch on, Siobhan, self-drive or chauffeur drive is probably best if you're doing a tour around Ireland in Blue Book properties, just because some of them are off the beaten track and up those winding roads. But that's something you do.
And don't be worried about driving in Ireland. It's not as bad as you think. The motorways are amazing. They're usually empty. They're actually very, very pretty. Like, one of my favorite drives is down to the southwest. That amazing countryside you see in Tipperary, etc. It's almost like, a day trip in itself. And even the small winding roads, once you go slowly and sort of hug the corners, you'll be fine. It'll be okay.
And I should say, if anyone does, or if they're still fond of, I know we're talking about sustainability, but if you still want the hard copy of the Blue Book, because I've been in some of the offices where they have ones from the 90s, you can get one on our website, and I will send it out if you send me your mailing address.
I did put down irelandsbluebook.com. Is that correct? Yeah.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah.
But it's like, we all have a copy of the Blue Book on each of our desks in the office, as you know yourself.
Yeah, it lasts years. Okay.
Yes. So they are amazing properties. So we don't want to keep anyone too long, but if anyone wants to ask any questions, please do. And it's lovely to have you know, fresh blood on the webinar as well, and also to celebrate those more unusual properties that are sort of like, you know, like for example, Castle Leslie, people should know about. You know, it's one that definitely people should keep in mind for those type of clients that want something hidden away and that equestrian feel. And it's lovely to see new properties, you know, like the Wilder, Montanati, etc. And then the old favorites that are very popular with the clients, Gregan's Castle, and then of course the newly relaunched Park Hotel Kenmare, which is like a lot of people prefer Kenmare to Killarney.
Oh, controversial.
I know.
So true.
So
Right.
he's right. So true.
There's a few people with their hands raised, and I don't know if they want to ask a question because, Gio, can they ask a question?
Yes, it's open for you. Just
But
need to ask to unmute,
and
or you can put it
Diane,
there.
just notice, so if they want to ask a question, please go ahead. Oh, there's an address there as well.
Oh, I'll keep that for you, Michelle. I've
That's
got
an
it here.
yeah, that's
Oh,
an interesting.
lots of hands right there. So,
Oh wow. Okay, and just the free or paid parking at the Wilder. Do you want to answer that one, Ray or Lucas?
Yeah, no problem at all. There's 9 car parking spaces at the front of the Wilder, and then it sits alongside the road where there's paid parking, but there is 9 spaces there directly in front of the entrance.
And I'm a terrible driver and I park there easily when I go
Yeah,
for
there you go,
meetings.
yeah.
Michelle, can you jot down a few of those email addresses there that want the blue book?
Yeah, I'll keep them for you anyway.
Oh no,
and I've got-
Gio's going to keep them for me.
Cinnamon Brosseau has a question. Oh, you to be able to speak now, I believe. If you want to unmute yourself. Or Gillian as well has raised her hand if you want to unmute. Not all at the same time. And Renette, oh, it's gone. Jan Black.
Or if you want to put a question in the chat, please feel free.
If you want to put a question there, be able to see it.
Hi, Siobhan. I just would like to get a copy of the blue book sent to me, please.
Brilliant. Hi, Julian. Can you just give us your email address? I know you're on our mailing list, but the thing is so that we have it.
I'll pop it in the chat.
Perfect.
Thank you, Gillian.
And I thought you're writing about storytellers. Very interesting, because like there used to be a lot of storytellers, but they were sort of the old-fashioned ones that I would cringe when I listened to, with sort of bad jokes. But now the storytellers are fantastic. They're so well informed.
Oh yeah.
You know, they just really know what they're doing.
Yes.
Right. Any more questions there, or?
So we'll be sending a recording out to everyone as we normally do. I know we won't be having another one. I think, are we having one in August, Gio? Because I know
At the end of August, we'll be doing some Northern Ireland hidden gems. But it'll be after Vegas, so it's the 21st, I believe.
The 21st of August, we'll be doing some hidden gems in Northern Ireland, and they're really, really nice ones. I love promoting Northern Ireland as well. And remember, you've got your little segue there with Castle Leslie on the way to Northern Ireland as well.
Exactly.
So thank you very much, everyone, for joining us, to the properties. Thank you very much. And to all the attendees as well. And of course, to Gio for organising everything. So we'll keep it open for a little bit more, just for those email addresses as well.
Thank you.
But feel free to leave. But if anyone wants a copy of a blue book, please put in your email address. And
Siobhan?
do all of this tomorrow. Yes?
I just tried to mail you something at the email address you put in the chat and it failed twice.
So it should be Siobhan@adamsandbutler.com.
Yeah. I'll try it again.
I'll put it again. So if it goes onto the next line, it's adamsandbutler.com. There's no ampersand, so it's A&D Butler.
Okay, I'll try again. Thank you.
Yeah. And if that fails, just send it to sales@adamsandbutler.com, and someone in the office will pass it on to me.
Okay, thanks.
So thanks a million, everyone. We'll just keep it up again. There's still more email addresses coming in, so we're going to just keep it open for a little while for people to do that.
But just remember, I don't do any of the work. Adams and Butler do the work when it comes to itineraries.
Yeah, so the blue book is a collection of properties, but they don't actually like do the itineraries or the bookings, things like that. So
but it's a great reference. There's a little map at the back and you can work out an itinerary with Siobhan's team.
And Cinnamon, you need to put your email address, I think, because it'll be harder for us to try and find. Sometimes the email addresses we have don't match up with the people's names. So that's brilliant.
Thank you so much, Siobhan.
Thank you, Michelle.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone. And we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time again. Thank you.
Thank you, Gio.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Gio.
Bye-bye.
Michelle, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Bye-bye.